Hello everyone and welcome to Long's Toys. I have another Tomica Hyper Series review for you today. This is Hyper Bulldozer and Hyper Chainsaw, and I decided to do these two together because they kind of are two halves of a set. Basically, they can each turn into a little robot, which you see down here, but they can also combine together as well as combine with each of the three kind of main mech. The first one that I've reviewed is White Hope, so that's the one I'll be using in this review. But if you take a look down here, it shows how they can combine together and also become like arms and legs, much in the same way that the helicopter can. So, of course, we'll be taking a look at that, but just taking a quick look at the packaging. This one does come with a car, and then you have the robot here. Sides of the packaging just kind of shows the vehicle itself. And then over here you get a quick look at how they can combine together. This one becomes the arms and the head, and the other one becomes the legs. And then you just kind of have like a mini comic here where it shows them rushing to clear some debris so the Great Hospital can get through. Or Great Ambulance, rather. And then for this one, and I like the art. I think it's basic, but it's fun. I think it's cool. Again, shows the combination on the side there. And then just kind of shows him clearing the debris. Not really anything going on the bottom. So that's it for the packaging, but I think it's cool packaging. Basic, but it gets its point across, and I like the kind of little comics on the back. So we'll go ahead, we'll get everything out of the packaging, and we'll take a closer look. Alright, so here is the Hyper Bulldozer and Hyper Chainsaw. I'm going to take a look at the Bulldozer first. You can see it has treads here. Kind of reminds me almost like a little drill tank or something, but just with some pincer claws in the front instead of a drill. These can open up, just like that. There's a simple hinge. And you can go ahead and move some big rocks or some soil or something. Close these up. The car can come off of here. It connects just the same way as the white car connects to the White Hope. It says Hyper Builder there on the front. Pretty fun little car. Rolls decently well. And it's got a tab on the back and a little hole here in the front. And then you can see there's a peg hole here and a little tab, or a peg, I'm sorry. So you're going to put the tab in there and then snaps in. Stays in pretty well, so I like that. But yeah, otherwise there's not a whole lot to this thing in vehicle mode. But I do like the design of it. I like the color scheme. I love the green with the yellow and the gray. I think those three colors work really well together. So I like that a lot. Putting him off to the side, take a look at the Hyper Chainsaw. As you can see, it's got this giant kind of crane chainsaw arm, which is just nuts. No car for this one. It's just kind of this little built-in cab section. And then you got some really nice treads and almost like rocket thrusters on the back, which is kind of a weird choice, but they do have a little bit of articulation, and that's for when it combines in robot mode. But it's a pretty cool little vehicle here. I definitely like it a lot. I think this is the better of the two, but I do like this one a lot. So transforming them into their little robots, it's very simple. You just go ahead and pop the claws off. Now you can turn it like this, and you can already pretty much see the whole robot. The legs just fold down 90 degrees, and that gives you like the tread feet. And then at this point, you're going to pull the arms out like this. And then you can just go ahead and connect these onto the front. And that will give him his grabber claws. And there you go. That is the first little robot. For this one, you're going to take this section off. And it's a little difficult because you can see here this gray piece kind of extends out. So it doesn't have like a solid foundation, and these peg in pretty tight. So you just want to be careful. I mean, I don't think it's going to break. It seems to be pretty solid plastic, but it is kind of hanging out there because of the way the legs connect. So just be careful. You can take this front piece off, and then the two pegs that are on the back of there are actually going to peg into these two pegs right here. Just like that. Then you can see on the sides here, there are these little legs that can fold down. So there's one here. There's one here, and then there's one here on the front. So you're going to pull that down for all three on both sides. And that's going to kind of form your legs. And then these fold up as the arms. And then they have these tiny little hands that can kind of rotate out of the tread. Very basic. And then you're going to peg this into the top. You can see there's 2 peg holes on the top there. So he kind of gets this chainsaw hat. So here are your 2 little robot modes. I think they're kind of hilarious. I think this is kind of the cooler of the 2. Just my opinion. But this guy's not bad. This guy he's not moving around a lot. I mean, this guy kind of has like little wheels on his feet. His hands have a better range of motion. Now, if you wanted, you could take the chainsaw off of the front of this. Because it just kind of clips on there. And it has the same kind of clip that these hands do. So you could take one of these off if you really wanted to. And clip the chainsaw on. If you wanted to give this guy a chainsaw hand. He's doing his Ash Williams from Evil Dead impression. And it does clip on the right hand. So yeah, I think that's cool. I like that there's lots of playability. There's lots of options. So yeah, like I said, I kind of definitely think that this is still the better of the 2 sets as far as the vehicle and the robot mode goes. But there's something charming about this short, fat little robot. Turning them around from the back. Like I said, if you want to take the car off, you can. If you want to leave it on, you don't have to. If you wanted to go ahead and just pop that off. The only problem is, like, after a while, the dozer hands start to get a little too heavy. But yeah, so you could have this kind of 3-person team where someone's cruising around in the car while the robots do their thing. There's one more thing I forgot to show you with the vehicle modes. If you take the Hyper Chainsaw and you can take off this piece like we did if we were transforming it into robot mode. And then you can spin this around and you can see that there's 2 pegs there on the back. And you can just go ahead and peg those 2 into each other. And then you can get one kind of large drill tank vehicle, which I think looks great. Because the length of this really balances out the chainsaw crane arm. It makes it look like it really flows together. You can take this and plug it back into the back here just like if you were transforming him into robot mode so that you don't have to put this piece off to the side. So I really like the look of this. I think this is great. It really just makes it seem more impressive. And it really flows together well. When they're combined together, it doesn't look like 2 things just merged together. It really does look like one cohesive giant vehicle, which I think looks really fantastic. So I really like the look of this a lot. Alright, so now that I've showed you the robot modes and their individual and combined vehicle modes, I'm going to show you how they can combine with one of the mecha. So I brought White Hope in here. We're going to basically start by just completely disassembling these. And by that, I mean I'm going to pull off these yellow sections. And I think it's easier to take this one off first because of the way they peg into each other. You can see that there's a little peg. See how they peg together right there? So you can pull this straight off, and this is going to become a leg component. And you can pull this off, and that's going to become a leg component. And then you can completely take this section off as well. Now this piece you're not going to need right now, so we're just going to put this off to the side. We're going to take the Hyper Bulldozer, pull these off, come here to the green section and push this down, and that will release this. There's a little clip inside. Oops, can't see it if it flies off camera. But you can see how it's kind of moving in there. When I lift it up, or when I push down, it lifts it up, and that lets you unpeg it from the connection on here. So you're going to do that on both sides, and we're going to take the car off as well. And again, you can just put this off to the side for now. So now that we have all these crazy pieces, we're going to come to the White Hope. We're going to take his gun off. This whole assembly here will unpeg. Put that off to the side. We're going to press down on here to release his arms. Pull off his legs. So we're taking all the White Hope pieces, putting them off to the side, and then we're going to fold the head back into the car and take the car off. So we're left with just the little husk, basically just the torso and upper legs. You can take the car, plug that in like that. Take the hands. First I'm going to straighten the hands out. And you can see that there's a little slider there to pop out the fist. And then you can pop that on, press the green down to get that to lock in place. Do the same with the other hand. There you go. So then you got two new arms. I'm going to put these pieces off to the side and we'll get to the legs. Fold out all the leg pieces again for stability. And then this piece is going to fold forward and kind of become like a shin guard. So I'm going to go ahead and get both of the legs ready before I connect them, just to make it easier. And then you're just going to slide these right in here. So now you've got the new arms and legs all set. Come around to the back, and you can see that there are two peg holes right there. These two pegs are going to pop right in there. And then you kind of have to bring this around. You can see that there's a joint here and a joint here. So you kind of bring this forward because you have to distribute the weight. So he's kind of got like a shoulder cannon like Soundwave or somebody. And then you can go ahead and pop the head out of the car. You just pull it up. And there you go. You have the... I don't know if this officially has a term or a phrase or like a special name. I think it's just the White Hope with the Hyper Bulldozer and Hyper Chainsaw pieces. Which again, is not a fantastic name. I'm trying to see if there's a name on the box here. White Hope. I'll have to read that later. I'm terrible at reading Katakana on the fly. But yeah, I really like the look of this. I mean, technically, you could combine this with any of the three main mechas, so Sonic Interceptor, or I'm forgetting Hyper Fire. I forget what the red guy's name is because I don't have him. I only have Sonic Interceptor and White Hope. But the box shows doing it with White Hope, and I think it looks great. I really like the colors all together. I love this new head sculpt. Let me see if I can get in here close for you guys. I like that a lot. It really reminds me of like a Gundam, but not like a main Gundam, like one of the like Federation generically produced mobile suits that like fight alongside the Gundam for the normal soldiers. That's what that head sculpt really reminds me of. I like it a lot. I think that's really cool. Again, it's more green, which I think looks good with the yellow and the white and the gray. But there's a lot more that this can do. You can go ahead and pop the fists back in. And you can bring these back in. And you can give him some grabber claws. Unfortunately, there's not really anywhere to store them if he doesn't want the grabber claws. So if you want to give him the regular fists, you just have to kind of put them off to the side. But you can give him the grabber claws. You can take the chainsaw off. Take off one of the pincer claws. You could put the pincer claw on here if you like. And then you can give him the chainsaw hand. So he's got a lot of options. And the other thing I think is cool, if we move this out of the way and take this grabber claw off and pull the fist back out, you can see that there is a little handle here. So like if he needed to use the chainsaw with the other hand, but unfortunately, the width of this thing kind of makes it impossible, but you can kind of like put it over his head and have it peg in, like he's doing his Texas Chainsaw Massacre pose. So I think that's kind of neat. I think it's a cool idea that they included that little tab, because this piece, sorry, let me get back in here. This piece just comes right off. If you want, you can slide that right off and put it off to the side. But I think it's cool that they included it as a handhold for the second fist. It just stinks that I can't really, because of the width of the chest plate, it kind of gets in the way. So you can't really do it in front. But I still think it's neat that they included that piece. It's a little extra bonus there. So I think that's cool. I think it's really neat that you can do all these different options as far as accessories to give him. If you want to bring the gun back in from the White Hope, you can go ahead and just, you know, it'll hold that. So that way maybe you want to give him one pincer claw and one gun, or maybe put the gun in this hand, give him the chainsaw. Something like that. Then he's, you know, got a melee weapon and a ranged weapon. But I really like this combination. I think it's really neat. I love the color scheme, and I love all the accessory options that you have with the chainsaw and the pincer claws. That's really, really cool. Now, there's one last thing you can do if we kind of just put this all off to the side, and we bring in these husks that we had previously. You can take the White Hope pieces and pop them in here. So if you want, like say you want to display in this form, you can fold these back up and pop them on here, and they will clip on because, again, it's a universal clip system, so anything can clip on anything else. Or I should say, you know, any arms can be swapped out. Take the feet, fold them up. You can put them on this, just like that. I think it's kind of funny because that looks super tiny, just running around like that. If you want, you can put this clip back up here from the White Hope. So, I think that's cool. I really do think it's neat that you can go ahead and pop these on here. Just one, it's somewhere to display them, or somewhere to store them. And also, they can kind of, you know, still run around on a crazy little... I don't know, this one just looks so small and tiny to me that makes me laugh. So yeah, I like it a lot. Like I said, this is a great set. Picking up, I mean, you can use just one. If you only get the Hyper Bulldozer, obviously you can just leave the White Hope's feet and use just this top section, except you wouldn't have the arm on the back. And if you just get the chainsaw, you can leave the White Hope's head and arms and just use the chainsaw and the legs. So you can use them individually, combine them individually with the White Hope, combine them together on their own, combine both of them with the White Hope. There's lots of play options here, and I think that's just really fun about these toys. They're all universal, so you could combine them with the Sonic Interceptor, with the White Hope. You can use the arms of the Sonic Interceptor, the legs of the chainsaw, and the body of the White Hope. You can mix and match and do all kinds of crazy combinations. You can put the pieces back on these pieces to make weird combinations there as well. There's a lot of play value with these toys, and I think they're super fun for that reason. I really enjoy them a lot. So I think both of these are a lot of fun. If I had to pick a favorite, I would probably say Hyper Bulldozer, just because I personally like the vehicle mode and the robot mode for him a little bit better than I do for the chainsaw. But there is something kind of charming about the short, fat robot mode of the chainsaw that is kind of fun. I definitely recommend picking them both up. If you can get your hands on both for a reasonable price, and you have some of the other robots, I think they're fun, because both of them have vehicle modes, individual robot modes. They have a combined vehicle mode, which looks great. And the combination with the like White Hope or Sonic Interceptor is also a lot of fun and looks fantastic. So yeah, I really don't have any complaints about these guys. I think they're pretty cool. The only thing that I thought was weird, and I did forget to mention this earlier, when I was looking at the sticker sheet for Chainsaw, they had stickers for each of the window sections here on the front. But as far as I can tell, they're already painted on. So I don't know why I would put stickers on top of the painted windows. So I thought that was weird. I just left them on the sticker sheet. I guess maybe there was an older version of this toy where there was no windows and they had to be stickers, but these are all actually painted on. So I think they look great, and I don't know why I'd put stickers over top of them, but there are a few other stickers to put on. But anyway, I just wanted to mention that quick at the end because I did think that was a little weird. But yeah, they're definitely great sets. Definitely pick them up. I recommend them. They're a lot of fun, especially if you have some of the other toys, because the combination possibilities are really not endless, but there's a lot, so they're really fun. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like and share this video, and please subscribe if you haven't already. I hope you guys have enjoyed this look at Hyper Bulldozer and Hyper Chainsaw from the Tomica Hyper series. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching.